Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Last time we finished ayah number 111, Surah number 11. The Surah title is, or the Surah name is Hud. Excuse me. So ayah number 112 directs the talk to the Prophet himself, telling him, so stand firm as you have been commanded, as well as those who, having repented from disbelief, have joined you, and do not cross the limits. Surely Allah is watchful of what you do. See, when Allah talks to the Prophet and tells him, stand straight, or walk straight, or be straight, or stay straight, all of this for him and for those who have repented and followed him, and do not cross the limit. This is an important instruction. He says, be straight, or stand straight, or walk straight, as you have been commanded, not as you wish, not according to your own opinion, not as it becomes convenient, no, as you have been commanded. So, standing for justice, standing for peace, standing for service is not a choice. Neither is the way it is done. The way it is done, it should match the way we have been commanded by Allah, which means we should follow the book as it speaks. Not only when it is easy, but also when it is difficult. Not only when it is pleasant, but when it is painful. Stand straight. It goes on, ayah number 113, and do not incline towards the wrongdoers. Do not lean on the wrongdoers. Do not rely on the wrongdoers, lest the fire should catch you. And then you will have no supporters other than Allah. Then you should not be helped. You will have no helpers. What does it mean that we should not rely on the wrongdoers? Much of the corruption in the world is spread and fed by people who stand with the corrupt few, whether they are leaders of their nations, leaders of their business, or leaders in any sphere of life. So when we rely on leaders who are corrupt, or people who are corrupting our life, we get closer to the fire. And the fire will catch up with us and will catch us. So do not lean on those wrongdoers and do not rely on them. The reason corruption spreads very quickly is because everybody focuses on what can I get, not whether it is right or wrong. So being straight is the opposite of going around and cutting corners and paying bribes and seeking your personal gain. You must walk straight as you are commanded. When you see something wrong, don't get close, let alone don't follow. So societies get corrupted because of the masses following the corrupting few, whether they are leaders in the art, leaders in economy, in business, in finance, in politics, in religion, because corruption can attack every sphere in life. Our eyes have to be open because to keep a society clean, everybody has to be on guard. Watch out, be alert, pay attention. Wherever you see corruption, wherever you see injustice, push back. Don't seek personal gain in a corrupting or corrupt environment. Ayah number 114, and establish prayer at both ends of the day and in the early hours of the night. Surely good deeds erase bad deeds or wipe bad deeds. This is a reminder for those who are mindful. So to live straight, you have to be mindful. Mindful of what you're doing, mindful of what is going on around you, and minding what is right vis-a-vis what is wrong. So you have to be mindful all the time. You have to be alert. Here it says, establish prayer at both ends of the day and some part of the night. Good deeds, righteous deeds, wipe clear of your record the bad deeds. This is a divine principle that Allah treats us with, hoping that we also treat each other with the same principle. Imagine if I only focus on the bad deed you have done last night and let it erase all of the good deeds you have done for years, and contrast this approach with your good deed wipes clean all of your bad deeds. What kind of society will we have? A society of forgiveness, a society of embracement, a society where people accept excuses and apologies, where people look for the common interest, where people are more peacemakers than warmongering, because we are all focusing on good deeds wiping away the bad deeds. If husbands and wives accept a good deed as a as the foundation with which they erase and completely remove bad deeds, family will be living in peace. And this is the principle that Allah treats us with. And number 115, and be patient, for Allah does not let the reward of the righteous go to waste. Allah will never waste your good deeds. So don't worry about a worldly reward for your good deeds. Your reward is only going to be with Allah. And He is the one who watches, records, and rewards. And He will never waste what you do of good. And He will never over-punish you for something bad that you have done. A good deed is rewarded 10 times or 10 folds, right? A bad deed is punished only as one bad deed. So be patient, for Allah does not waste the good deeds of the good doers. Then why is it that there were no people among the generations before you who would have enough remnants of wisdom to stop others from creating disorder in the land or corruption in the land, except a few among them whom we saved from our punishment. Were it not for a good few righteous ones, stopping corruption and pushing back against corruption in the land, except for the few we have saved. And the wrongdoers pursued the luxuries they were involved in, and they became sinners. When people pursue the material gain only and overlook, ignore, and forget what is right and what is wrong, they just pursue the gain no matter how, the world becomes more corrupt every day. So, as a Muslim, as a believer who believes in Allah, you should be among the few who are standing against the corruption. Don't be among the many who are either beneficiaries of corruptions, promoters of corruption, or themselves corrupt. Be among the few righteous ones, no matter how few or weak they may be. And your Lord would not put to punishment or destroy the towns or villages unjustly, while their people are good in their ways. It is not befitting for Allah to do anything unjust, let alone destroying an entire set of villages because of something that they have done that is not a crime. Only big crimes result in destroying entire villages. But Allah would never wrong anyone. Allah would never unjustly punish anyone. The protection for villages from being wiped out as a punishment is when their people pursue reform and corrections. The only way and the only group that will be saved when punishments come are the ones who are reforming, fighting corruption, and working for what is righteous. This coming ayah number 118, very central concept. And had your Lord willed, He would have made all people a single community, but they will still continue to be different. What does it mean? It means Allah could have created people all compelled to obey, all forced to be righteous. But this is up to His will. So if this was not His will, to make us one ummah, one community of believers, one society worldwide, all of us believe, all of us are obedient, all of us are committed and disciplined according to the guidance of Allah. But if this is not His will, then what was the will of Allah when He wanted to create us? Allah had creations before us. He had the angels and He had the jinns. Right? The angels obey by compulsion. Their nature, the nature on which they were created, has always been obedience and submission. They cannot disobey Allah. So they don't. The jinns, they have the nature of choosing to be obedient and believe and be nice, and choosing to disobey. The vast majority of them chose to be disobedient. Allah wanted then to create a new set of creatures. Those are the humans who have the free will to choose to believe or not believe, to obey or not obey. And He gave them a lot of enticements in the revelation that entice them to get closer to Allah and to believe in Allah, to submit and obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But on free will, not on compulsion, not on imitation of forefathers or for generations. He wanted a creature that will obey and submit voluntarily, by choice. So if someone asks you, why did Allah create evil? Tell him Allah created us with the capacity to do evil and the capacity to do good. We create evil and corruption, and it is on us to create righteousness and piety. So bad things are the making of our own hands. Good things are the making of our hands if we follow the guidance of Allah. You want to ask something? What's he saying?
Wait, I forgot. I forgot.
So had Allah willed it, had your Lord willed it, He would have made the entire human community as one community, but they still will have differences. So if Allah had made us all obedient and submissive, in what way are we going to be different? That was the subject of my sermon yesterday. So in what way would we have been different? It is in our human ways, our individual inclinations, our sense of interest and fear, hope, and whatever influences our decision making. So everyone is uniquely a different person. Even if you are a half twin, your other half, brother or sister, would have had their own personalities, their own choices, their own inclinations. So even both of you, on the area of spirituality, you are all inclined to do good, you are all righteous, you are all obedient to Allah, but she may like things that you don't like. Or he may like things that you don't like, or vice versa. Which means that our differences would not be in the area of religion or submission to Allah, but we would still have issues to work out between all of us as one community. Like, for example, you see Muslims, they are all submitting to Allah. Christians, they have all been submitting to Allah, right? But why are they fighting each other? Why have they been having wars? Because they will still have differences. Okay? So some people think that religions create differences. Religions is the reason for wars. But the reality is, people are the reason for wars. When I want to impose my will on you, I cause war. I cause fight. When I want to force you to follow my way, because everyone is created as a free individual with his or her own free will. The only one who has the authority to command us to do anything in a certain way is our Creator. That's why wars are caused mostly by dictators and despots than anything else. Yes.
What are dictators?
People who rule people by force. They take power by force, they control population by force, they compel people by force. Like Pinochet of Chile and Nasser in Egypt and Sisi in Egypt currently, Saddam Hussein in Iraq. There are so many dictators in the world. You understand? Dictators are the opposite of free elected leaders. Leaders who are chosen by their community to lead the society. Now we know the difference. Okay. So, ayah number 119 completes 118. It says, except for those whom Allah has blessed with mercy. And for that, He has created them. Allah has created us to bless us with His mercy. He did not create us to put us to punishment or to send us to hellfire. The purpose and the reason for His creation of humans is to bless them. How does Allah bless us? Before He has created us, He has made the world in which we would live a place that is usable for us. So the earth is flat. I'm not saying the globe is flat. I'm saying the earth is. When you walk on the earth, you feel that it is flat. If the place is somewhat paved, you can walk and roam the earth, right? Allah could have created as craters and nothing but very rough mountains like the Grand Canyons. You cannot walk in. So Allah shows us on the earth places that are not inhabitable for humans, so that we appreciate places that are inhabitable. Who made them? Allah. Who paved the earth for us? Allah. And not only that, He created all of the things we would need before He had created us. He created water. He created the sun. He placed the earth at a specific distance from the sun so that it does not free fly away from the sun and get lost and destroyed, nor is it too weak to be absorbed into the sun and everything will burn. So scientists would say, if the earth gets 1 inch closer to the sun, everything on it will burn. And if it goes 1 inch away from the sun in its orbit, everything would freeze. So Allah created everything and set everything where it belongs and set its nature to do what it is created to do. Allah created the day for us to roam the earth, make living, earn our living, raise our kids, build schools, and so on and so forth. And He created the night so that we can rest and the body recuperate, and the head, the brain, will take rest and comfort to come up fresh in the morning. Allah never stopped blessing us materially, whether we believe in Him or we don't. Atheist Soviet Union was as blessed as believing America. with resources, green, produce, everything, military power. For Allah, material giving in this life is not His way of rewarding. Because this whole world, if you are gifted the whole world for a rak'ah, a prayer that you do for Allah, that is not enough reward in the sight of Allah. Nor if Allah made you the dirtiest poor man on earth. You're dirt poor. You have nothing. This also is not enough punishment for rejecting Allah. Rejecting the one who created you. So this life is a life for working and doing what you want, according to your own free will. But the hereafter is where the reward or punishment is. So this is working without accountability, and the hereafter is accountability and no working. So Allah has already blessed us before He had created us by setting up the system in which we live, the ecosystem, the environment where we are living. And He made it easy. He created the air that we breathe, and the water we drink, and the plants we eat. He created them in colorful compositions, tastes, varieties, looks. Everything is beautiful that Allah has made for us. Away from us, Allah has created stars. Before GPS was a GPS or an idea even, people roamed the earth getting their direction from the stars. They were the source of GPS. They told you where is north and where is south, where is east, where is west. Whether you are on the land or in the sea. Until today, ships and pilots in airplanes, when the GPS is not working, they use the stars to set their direction. They must learn it, because not all tech equipments work all the time. So when you ask, what did Allah bless us with? We can never count His blessings. Yes.
Wait, the sun is a star.
Yes.
So they use the sun. They use the sun.
They use other stars.
Other stars?
Yes. Because you cannot look at the sun in the daytime because it hurts your eyes. Right? And at night it disappears. Right? So if you're traveling at night, the only way you get help is looking at other stars. Because stars are set in specific spots and they form certain shapes. So people who study stars, astronomy, they learn where is east and what star defines east and west, north and south. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was saying that if your Lord had willed it, He would have made people one community and they continue to be different and differ, except for those He has blessed with His mercy. And this is why He created them. He created us to bless us with His mercy. The Quran is a form of mercy. The Injil, the gospel given to Jesus, is a form of mercy. The Torah given to Moses is a source of mercy. So Allah presents us with His mercy, and because He created us as free creatures, He leaves it for us to choose whether to believe and follow or to believe and disobey or to reject and not believe at all. But He presents us with His mercy. And perfect is the word of your Lord, as He says, I will surely fill the hell with jinns and the human beings all together. This threat is meant to be so strong that any wise person would not want to displease Allah. So why did Allah create hellfire? Because it will be the abode of those, despite the fact that they cannot bear the worldly fire, right? How could they bear hell fire, which is the strongest fire there will ever be? How much we love life. We love life so much that we hate death. We fear death, right? So Allah says, and fear a day when you return to Allah, and every soul will be recompensated according to their deeds. Why does Allah scare us? Because He created us and He knows if we are truly scared, we stay away from something. So if you are on the top of a mountain, you get afraid, you get scared to go to the edge. Because if you go to the edge, you risk the fall. So you stay away from the edge. Why? Because you fear for your safety. If you see fire in a store or in a block, you don't come running inside the fire because you risk being burned. So when we fear, we run away from the source of our fear. So Allah is using what He knows that it works for us, for our interest. This is very interesting.
So I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned about God makes the devil and He stopped. Can you go in depth more? People may be wondering why that was said.
Can you repeat the first part?
Before you had mentioned that
Are you saying?
Allah had made the devil, but it wasn't in depth. There was no expansion on that. Many people ask why that is.
The devil?
Yeah, that Allah made the devil. Why?
Yes. The devil, Allah created the devil to test us. If it were only Allah showing us the way, it will only be one way, which is the way to paradise. Okay? But Allah created the devil to promote the path to hellfire because He is looking for company. You know that the devil was cursed as he was kicked out of paradise. So the devil is here to attract his likes of the human race into hellfire. So now every human being has a choice to either follow Allah or follow the devil. So this is what Allah planned, that He would show us the path to paradise and the path to hellfire. Allah is the one waving us on the path to paradise. But if we follow the devil, we end up where the devil is going. If we follow the prophet, we end up where the prophet is heading. So the Quran says, and we've guided him, meaning human, to both paths. In the traditions of the prophet, he says that the path to paradise is surrounded with, the path to paradise is surrounded with difficult things. Tribulation, testing, trials, disease, famine, oppression, persecution, because faith could not just be left as a claim. You claim to believe, you will be tested. This is the key that we have to pay attention to. So the Quran makes this explicit, saying, did people think that they would claim to be faithful by saying it without being tested? So Satan is a test. And it's meant to test how strong our faith is. How much we love Allah versus how much we love what we want. That's why the Quran describes people who submit to Allah as people who want nothing but a look of mercy from Allah. The ultimate purpose is that Allah would bless him or her with a look of mercy. يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ. They want his merciful look. They want to reach to see his smiling face in front of us. And that they will in paradise. So, ayah number 120. And we narrate unto you all such stories from the events of the messengers, as we strengthen your heart therewith. Meaning, we are telling you the news of and the stories of previous messengers, so that we firmen your heart in faith, so that your heart is strengthened by faith, as you hear the stories of previous messengers. And in these, meaning these stories, in these ayat, in this Quran, there has come unto you the truth, a good counsel, and a reminder to those who believe. So where is the source of guidance? It is the Quran. Where is the truth? It is in the Quran. Where is our strongest reminder? It is in the Quran. This is ayah number 120. Ayah number 121. And say to those who do not believe, do your work and work for your fate. We are also working. You see that warning? You see the sense of Allah telling people by the message given to the Prophet. He is telling them, tell those who don't believe, do work for your faith, because we are working for our faith. So what you work will define your fate. If we just remember this, every time we have a choice between things, and we choose what helps us get where we want. So if you want paradise, you know what to do and what to avoid. Where do you know it? You know it from the truth, from the Quran, from the word of Allah. And number 122, and wait, because we are also waiting. Which means what? It's a matter of time. We are all leaving this earth. The good, the bad, and the ugly, the believer, the disbeliever, the obedient, the disobedient, the rebellious and the submissive. Everybody will leave. Which means what? It's a matter of time. So wait, because we are also waiting, which means what? We are waiting to see if we are successful to achieve the faith we like, and wait to see where we are heading when we get there. And we are also waiting to see your fate and where you will end. And that's why the Quran tells us in Surah number 7 that people in paradise will look down as they see others in the pit of hell, and they will ask them, we have found what Allah had promised to be true. Have you found what Allah had promised to be true? It's an amazing moment of truth. Yes, it is an eye-opener. The last ayah of Surah 11, ayah number 123, and to Allah belongs all the secrets of the heavens and the earth, and to Him the entire matter shall be returned. So worship Him and have trust in Him and rely on Him, and your Lord is never unaware of what you do. You see the conclusion? The ayat in Surah number 11, the ayat in this chapter, have given us stories of Pharaoh, the people of Noah, the people of Saleh, the people of Lot. We've gone over those, even though in small snapshots. But at the end, this is the lesson. The lesson at the end of the surah is, to Allah belongs all the unseen in the worlds of heaven and earth, and to Him all matters will return. So worship Him and rely only on Him, for Allah is never unaware of what you do. We'll stop here. The time is up, and the surah also is finished. And next time, inshallah, God willing, we will tackle one of the most beautiful stories given to us in the Quran, the story of Prophet Joseph, the son of Jacob. You know the story. I know everybody loves it. Kids love it too. So I hope that next time we can bring our children so that they understand the beauty of the story of Prophet Yusuf and the lessons that we learn from it. If you have children over 6 years old, yes, bring them in. So this will be Surah number 12, ayah number 1 next time. And the one that we finished is verse number 123, Surah number 11. The one we finished, 123. I think he needs to record it as well.